the Midland County Board of Commissioners meeting to order December 1st, easy for me to say, Tuesday, December 1st, 2020 at 9 a.m. And Ann, would you please call roll?
Commissioner Snyder,
Here.
Glazer,
Here. Here.
Terwilliger,
Here.
Geisler,
Here.
Dorian,
Here.
Nosen,
Yo.
Chairman Bone.
Present.
7 present, 0 absent.
At this point, I'd like to ask Commissioner Terwilliger to lead us on the invocation and the pledge. And everybody, please mute your phone or mute your iPad at this point, if you don't mind.
Heavenly Father, we pray for the health and welfare and safety for all of the residents in our community. Lord, we pray for your blessing of peace and goodwill during Christmas season. And lastly, Lord, we are thankful for our dedicated county employees and their hard work. And we pray for health and perseverance and resolution of the pandemic into 2021. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Terwilliger. Now what we will do is we will move on to the approval of the minutes for November 2nd, November 10th, and November 17th, 2020.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the minutes.
Support.
No.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same. Okay, we will approve the minutes for November 2nd, 10th, and 17th of 2020 and move on to the acceptance of the bills.
Properly addressed general bank claims approved in the amount of, for the weeks of 11/2 through 11/6, $298,610.60, with total general fund expenditures of $41,144.21. General bank claims for the weeks of 11/9 through 11/13, $1,110,357.39, with total general fund expenditures $104,743.41.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend we pay the bills.
Support.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Okay, we will pay the bills. We do not have a special program of the day. So at this point, I'd look for public comment on anything that is not on our agenda or that is on our consent agenda. Is there any public comment? Seeing none, I'd look for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Support.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same. Okay, we will approve the consent agenda, move on to standing committee report number 1. And would you be kind enough to read that, please?
Dated November 25th, properly addressed, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Administration and Operations Committee and the Finance Committee, have reviewed the agreement with Graham County Land Company, LLC. Under the agreement, Graham will provide debris removal services for storm-generated debris on county property. The term of this agreement is from November 17th, 2020 through November 16th, 2021, with the option of 2 additional one-year renewals. Associated cost varies depending upon debris type and has been outlined in the agreement. We are recommending approval of the agreement and that the Administrator Controller be authorized to make the necessary budget adjustments. Respectfully submitted, James Geisler, Chairperson, Scott Nosen, Eric Dorian, Administration Operations Committee, Scott Nosen, Chairperson, James Geisler, Jeanette Snyder, Finance Committee.
Commissioner Geisler.
Mr. Chairman, the A&O Committee recommends the adoption of item 122-11-20.
And Commissioner Nosen.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee also recommends adoption of agenda item 122-11-20.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Do we have any commissioner discussion? And call roll, please.
Commissioner Glazer,
Yes.
Terwilliger,
Yes.
Geisler,
yes,
Dorian,
Yes.
Noson,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Committee report number 2, please.
Dated November 25th, properly addressed, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Administration Operations Committee and the Finance Committee, have reviewed the attached resolution to approve CDBG CARES grant application. If approved, the grant will provide $284,627 in funding to help recover from unexpected costs around COVID-19 mitigation efforts. We recommend approval of this resolution and authorize the Administrator Controller to amend the 2020 budget, as well as make any electronic approvals related to this grant on our behalf. Respectfully submitted, James Geisler, Chairperson, Scott Noson, Eric Dorian, Administration Operations Committee, Scott Noson, Chairperson, James Geisler, Jeanette Snyder, Finance Committee.
Commissioner Geisler.
Chairman. The A&O Committee recommends the adoption of agenda item 123-1120.
Thank you. And Commissioner Noson.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee also recommends adoption of agenda item 123-11-20.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Do we have any commissioner discussion? And call roll, please.
Commissioner Twilliger,
Yes.
Commissioner Geisler,
Yes,
Commissioner Dorian,
Yes.
Noson,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Glazer,
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Committee report number 3, please.
Dated November 25th, properly addressed, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Finance Committee, recommend approval of the revised Michigan Department of Treasury form titled Statement Showing Taxable Valuations and Mills Apportioned by the County Board of Commissioners, also known as the Annual Apportionment Report. This form fulfills the statutory requirement and reports the allowable millage to be levied for the current year. These millages are certified to the state via electronic submission by the Equalization Director. However, this report is kept on file to meet the statutory requirement of MCL 211.37. Respectfully submitted, Scott Noson, Chairperson, James Geisler, Jeanette Snyder, Finance Committee.
Commissioner Noson.
Mr. Chairman, the Finance Committee recommends adoption of agenda item 110-10-20.
Do we have any public comment on this item? Any commissioner discussion? And call roll, please.
Commissioner Geisler,
yes,
Dorian,
Yes.
Noson,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Glazer,
Yes.
Terwilliger,
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Committee report number 4, please.
Dated November 25th, properly addressed, ladies and gentlemen, we, your Human Services Committee, have reviewed the credentials for the new Director of Court Services at the Juvenile Care Center and the subsequent request to hire the candidate above the starting salary rate. We recommend setting the salary for the incoming Director of Court Services at a grade 11, step 7. Respectfully submitted, Eric Dorian, Chairperson, Gage Williger, Steve Glazer, Human Services Committee.
Commissioner Dorian.
Mr. Chairman, the Human Services Committee recommends adoption of agenda item 121-11-20.
Do we have any public comment on this? Do we have any commissioner discussion?
I've got a question.
Yes, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
Commissioner Noson.
Yeah, it's not necessarily related to this one, but it seems like every one of these that we get, we're recommending above the pay grade. And so something's going to have to change. Do we revise the pay grades, or what is this? What is this telling us? The fact that we have to kind of do this all the time. I'm not sure I really know.
Well, I was going to say the exact same thing you did. So my question is, it seems like about 2 years ago, we did a job study, and that was to make sure everybody was being paid fairly. And it seemed like when we did the job study, Suzanne, I see you're waving, so I'll call on you. But I'd like to be able to explain it, one, for the public too, because, we do these studies and now we're not bringing them in where we should be. And so if we could take both those questions for report 4 and 5. And I don't know where we're at step 3 on committee report number 6, but they both have 4, 5, and 6 committee reports all. Could you, Suzanne, Bridget, whoever it may be, touch on why we're bringing these in at a higher rate than what the job study shows we should. So,
Well, let me,
Suzanne, do you want to?
let me address this actually.
What, and you know what?
First off,
Yep, I'll ask Eric, and then Eric can defer if he'd like.
right, this person that is replacing Michelle Bell has 23 years of experience in this field, has a master's degree, is a professor at Saginaw Valley State University, and has been a trainer at JCC for the past year. So she's well integrated into their operations. We're paying for this candidate's experience. This is not an entry-level candidate. And if Suzanne, if you want to add in, or Bridget.
Please do, Suzanne. You're on mute.
There we go. Hi there. Yes, what's really happening with this candidate and then the other two is that we need experienced people to run these positions, and the people that apply for the positions are already, in many cases, already making the top of our scale. And so this has become pretty normal when we're hiring our top administrative type positions, that we're essentially needing to bring people in at the top in order to get the kind of talent that we need for the county to run such places as the JCC, Pinecrest Farms, excuse me, and certainly nursing, which nursing at this time is extremely competitive right now to get nurses.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne.
But this is the JCC. I reckon, I'm sorry for speaking out of turn, but I think I have the floor as the chair.
Yeah, you do.
Human Services still. So I was specifically referring to agenda item number 4 in my comments. Thanks, Suzanne, for addressing, I guess, number 5. But let's just try and stay in order and not confuse the public. Thank you.
Administrator Controller, did you have anything you wanted to add to any of the questions?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Eric is spot on with the current agenda item and the need to address our recruiting issues by bringing people in at an appropriate level. These are non-union positions, so we don't cause ourselves any issue by bringing them in above the start of our compensation system. The other thing that I would like to point out, since we're on this topic and the conversation is already sort of seeped over into the next couple items, and that is although Commissioner Nosa makes a good point, we have brought people in above the beginning of the salary scale. Not everybody has been brought in at the top. So the next 2 items are recommended at the middle, actually the lower middle of the salary scale. And again, this is a recruiting tool for us. And these are positions that either come with a lot of responsibility because they're leading facilities or fairly large operations, or they're positions that we're just finding it difficult to recruit in. The nursing area in particular, especially during 2020, has been challenging to fill. So I would, rest assured that your administrative team, and I would say every department head and every elected official is very cognizant of what their budgets are, and they are not coming to the board and asking for employees to be hired above the beginning of the salary scale unless they think that it's necessary to fill the position. And again, I would just like to harken back to some of my standard budget concerns for the last couple years. If you go back into your budget when you're having a hard time sleeping, you can read my letter again. One of the things that I mention is that one of our top issues has been recruitment. So, Mark, you are correct that our revision of our compensation system and our salary scale was intended to help with that. And I would suggest at the lower pay grades that has made a difference, because we did bring up the beginning of the salary scale and then spread it out a little bit. So I think it's been helpful, but it's not a perfect system. It doesn't work in every situation.
Mr. Chairman?
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Nelson.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up. First of all, I tried to preface my statement by saying it was a generic comment, not necessarily applicable to this particular one or any future ones. I get it. I understand it, but two comments. One is when you bring somebody in at the top of the scale, do they know that they're basically then not going to have any, I guess what we would call it now, merit increases? I mean, they're just going to be exposed to, whatever the increase overall for the salary. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's true. Yep, because the system will go up every year the scale itself goes up every year by the approved increases that the board approves in the budget. So
Okay.
yes.
So there is no merit increase for these individuals then. So they're at the top of the scale. They've capped out. They won't get any.
Correct.
And how is that received by these people?
I think it's actually fairly well received because they're not willing to come for less than that because they're already making near that compensation level to begin with. So it's not just the salary that they're coming for, right? The county still, although we don't offer the same level of benefits that local governments used to be able to offer, our benefits are still pretty good. So I think that when you're talking about recruiting, it's the entire compensation package. And I'm sure you all know this from your jobs outside of commissioner positions, but that's really a consideration by applicants is the entire package. Interestingly, some of the folks that we have applying lately are grateful to be finding jobs in Midland because they live here and they're driving other places. So I think location has actually been in our favor recently. The other thing that I want to just say too is that it seems like we are, and I've said this before, but it seems like we're always bringing you someone that we want to hire above the beginning of the salary scale, but you don't see all of the other people that we hire that don't, right? There's a lot of people in the hopper that just come through normal that you don't know anything about that just get hired at the beginning of the salary scale.
Yep.
Well, just one final point, and I'll rest here. But does the job study that we did, shouldn't that include the competitive situation in the local market? Doesn't so?
Well, it does for some positions. I mean, it does, Scott. Yes, but there are some positions that are just more highly competitive than others. And we have a lot of one-off positions. I know Suzanne's mentioned this before, where there's not necessarily great comparables with other local units of government. And so it's difficult to figure out where they fit into the scale, but most of the time we find ourselves competitive as long as we don't expect someone with 25 years of experience to come in at the beginning.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Who
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Commissioner Dorian.
Since Michelle Horn is here, I would just like to call on her to see if she has anything more to add in regards to this discussion.
No, I would just reiterate that this is a person that has 20 plus years of experience. They come highly qualified, highly recommended from community members. She currently works in our facility. She is training our supervisors. So it's the best transition that we could ask for. Unfortunately, we can't get her unless we bring her in at a salary that's the same as what she's currently making.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Any other commissioner discussion? Ann, call roll, please. You're on mute, Ann.
You're on mute, Ann.
I know. Sorry, guys. Hang on just a quick second here. All right. Commissioner Dorian,
Yes.
Commissioner Nosen,
Yes.
Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Glazer,
Yes.
Twilliger,
Yes.
Geisler,
yes,
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Let's move on to committee report number 5 then, please.
Dated November 25th, properly addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, we, your Human Services Committee, have reviewed the credentials for the new Director of Nursing at Pinecrest Farms and the subsequent request to hire the candidate above the starting salary rate. We recommend setting the salary for the incoming Director of Nursing at a grade 11, step 7. Respectfully submitted, Eric Dorian, Chairperson, Gage Williger, Steve Glazer, Human Services Committee.
Commissioner Dorian.
Mr. Chairman, the Human Services Committee recommends adoption of agenda item 124-11-20.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item? Do we have any commissioner discussion? And call roll, please.
Commissioner Noson,
Yes.
Snyder,
Yes.
Glazer,
Yes.
Twilliger,
Yes.
Geisler,
yes,
Dorian,
Yes.
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Committee report number 6 then, please.
Dated November 30th, properly addressed. Ladies and gentlemen, we, your Human Service Committee, have reviewed the credentials for the new administrator at Pinecrest Farms and the subsequent request to hire the candidate above the starting salary rate. We recommend setting the salary for the incoming administrator for Pinecrest Farms at a grade 14, step 3. Respectfully submitted, Eric Dorian, Chairperson, Gage Williger, Steve Glazer, Human Services Committee.
Commissioner Dorian.
Mr. Chairman, the Human Services Committee also recommends adoption of agenda item 125-11-20.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item? Do we have any commissioner discussion?
Hi,
Here.
Mark. This is Jeanette.
Pardon me? Yes, Jeanette, please go ahead.
I've had some time to think about, Scott's remarks. I do appreciate our team and our hiring team. I know it's a lot to make these decisions, and we do have a lot to offer at Midland County. We have a nice small team and we have good benefits, and I do believe we have good things to offer, or these very talented people would not be applying. And so I don't always want to offer, like what Scott said, up higher. I believe that they would even take it lower if it was offered. I'm comfortable with these. I just, for future reference, I do agree with Scott. We have a lot to offer, and they say they may take a certain amount, and I don't want to be inappropriate or pay them inappropriately, but we are a government facility. We're not going to always pay at the top of the scale. I don't think we should. I think we have very talented people, and I want to continue that, but I think we have a lot to offer here. So I just wanted to support Scott's comments from before. I know this was a lot of work to find an administrator for Pinecrest, and I thank everybody for their work on it.
Thank you. And I guess the only thing I'd add to that is, and I know everybody knows this, but our hiring team, they do a great job, and they don't go out and just burn up money and spend it. They do what they need to put the right person in the right position. So when we ask these questions for Suzanne, Bridget, and whoever else it may be, it's not us looking down on you and the job you're doing. It's just, we feel it's a question that needs to be asked, and we got to make sure that we're putting the right fit in. But we know you guys just don't go up there printing money and saying, how much do you want, and give it. So thank you for the jobs you guys do when you're in the hiring process.
Mr.
I can
Chairman,
start printing money, let me know.
What's
Mr.
that?
Chairman,
You
Yes.
said,
Mr. Chairman,
Who said Mr. Chairman?
this candidate
Oh,
is
Eric,
not
yep.
coming in at the top of the scale.
I know
So
it isn't.
while it is
Yep.
similar to the last
Yep.
debate that we
Right.
just had, this person is
Exactly.
not coming in at the top.
Exactly.
And,
I have a question.
If Yvonne Fisher is here and would like to add to the discussion, Yvonne?
Yes, he is highly qualified. He is not coming in at the top of the pay scale. And we did a very thorough search, and I feel he's going to do an excellent job. So I appreciate your support.
Thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. Thanks for being here for the meeting, as well as you also, Michelle Horn.
Scott?
And Scott Nelson.
Yeah, just, can you tell me something about the candidate? I know nothing. Is it appropriate to talk about that here?
Well, Yvonne, do you care to address this?
I was going to defer to Suzanne.
or
Suzanne, do you want
should
to
I
go ahead?
Sure.
Call on Suzanne.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Suzanne?
All right. Am I on off mute? I think I am.
Yes.
Okay. So the person that was selected has about 20 years working within different kinds of adult foster, assisted living type facilities. Also has a bachelor's degree, and he actually was extremely knowledgeable about a lot of the areas that we're concerned with right now, including COVID. And he was just a great candidate, and he was extremely approachable, had a wide variety of experiences like we talked about. And he is, like we talked about, he is willing to come in at a lower level.
So
anything
he's
else?
an outside hire?
Every single person is an outside hire. Yep, that we're talking about. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I-
Any
I-
other just
I would like to just add that I did check with the references, and he was highly referred. In fact, most of his references, we wish he was coming back. So they would rehire him.
That's great. That's great. Any other commissioner discussion? And it's finally your turn. Call roll. please.
Perfect. Commissioner Snyder,
Yes.
Glazer,
Yes.
Twilliger,
Yes.
Geisler,
Yes.
Dorian,
Yes.
Noson,
Yes,
Chairman Bone.
Yes.
7 yes, 0 no, motion carries.
Okay, that's it for our standing committee reports today. We have no RPCs. We have no old business. I do believe I could use a motion to take up one item of new business.
Yes, please.
move
Could
to take up an item of new business.
Can we get a support? Thank you.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed, the same. And would you read that item of new business, please?
I will, just 1 second here. All right, dated December 1st, properly addressed, ladies and gentlemen, I am requesting that this body consider the attached appeal of a FOIA request by Mr. James McGee. Respectfully submitted, James Geisler, District Number 5, Midland County Board of Commissioners.
Commissioner Geisler?
Mr. Chairman, I recommend the adoption of agenda item 126-12-20.
Thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item? Do we have any commissioner discussion?
Yes, I
Okay.
I would like to ask our counselor if he would update us on this item.
Thank you. I'd be happy to. So Mr. McGee was involved with the sheriff's office and earlier in the year on several occasions. And he requested under FOIA information, somewhat difficult to decipher, but information which was, he requested it on the 19th of October. We responded on the 26th of October, and he appealed the response in November. The response, there were 3 police reports. We gave him 2 of the 3 with redactions, and the third one we denied as it was still with the prosecuting attorney's office under consideration with that office. He appealed, and he appealed, there are several days between the date of appeal and the first meeting of the board, which was in November. And this is the next meeting after that. So this is the appropriate time to take up the appeal. And I will give you a recommendation. Since the time of the last response, the prosecutor has acted. And I believe even the matter concerned in the last response has been resolved. In any event, the prosecutor and I have discussed this matter, and he has agreed that the redacted third report can now be released. So it is my recommendation to you to release the third report, subject to any redactions which are appropriate under the FOIA statute, primarily privacy matters. And that's essentially it. This board is the appellate body for FOIA appeals, and I'm making the recommendation that you partially grant the appeal, allowing for distribution to the requestor of the redacted report requested.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend adoption of the order by the counselor as a form of motion.
I support that motion. Mark, you're on mute.
Okay, thank you. I think we can just do a voice vote on that. So everybody that's in favor, please say aye or raise your hands.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Move on to anybody opposed. Okay, thank you. We will approve the item of new business. We will now move on to commissioner comments and start with Commissioner Glazer.
Thank you to the hiring committees. I know it's been a lot of work in a difficult time. So thank you for all of the time and energy you've put in. And other than that, glad to see everyone.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Glazer. Commissioner Twilliger.
Yes, I was hearing some feedback. I wasn't sure if it was coming from me. I was going to respond with my comments. Basically, now I really feel I probably should say something, because not only am I on Human Services, as you all know, but I'm on the Pinecrest board as the liaison. And so I've been in the middle of all this with Yvonne Fisher, who is an incredible, tremendous chairperson for this process. And I just want, yeah, she's smiling right now. I want to commend, I think that we brought these two hires in a very tough market. It was tough before coming into the pandemic. It's tough. And we have very, very positive, very good candidates that we've been able to bring in before 2021. It's everything just sort of fit together. And I'm thankful that we have provided the supervision that Pinecrest needs during just a general period rather than a pandemic. And for the employees and the residents, this is something to celebrate. So, and I think that it's equitable for the county. So I'm very pleased. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Twilliger. Commissioner Geisler.
No comment.
Thank you, Commissioner Dorian.
I would also like to echo, echo Commissioner Terwilliger's comments with regard to the Pinecrest. Those were two key positions that were up in the air for a time. So thank you everyone for your work on that. Also, I would like to recognize the fact that we've replaced someone out at the JCC with another qualified candidate, and appreciate Michelle Horn and all her staff's work out at the JCC as well. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Nelson?
No comment.
Commissioner Snyder?
Hi, I'd like to echo everybody's comments. I thoroughly agree. that we have a good team, and I like that we can discuss, everything as a team. We have a great team here, and there's the financial things are hard to discuss. I'm not discrediting at all anybody's efforts. We do have to keep an eye on things, and that was my only point. And it was more of a comment to support Scott and really the last year or so as we see things come across. But of course, trust the process and the team, and I look forward to meeting these candidates.
Thank you very much. And then my only comment would be, I think we got some good news this week and last week also about the vaccine and it getting closer to being out and distributed. So hopefully we get that vaccine, we get our economy rolling again, we get our life back to normal. We're not Zooming forever. And I look forward to meeting in person with everybody again. And while we're waiting for this economy to pick up and get rolling again, not that it's been terrible, please consider paying it forward and shopping local as much as we possibly can, because there's a lot of businesses out there that are really, really hurting, and they may not be there if we don't back them. So the chains are great, but they can make it. It's the local mom and pops that we really need to support if we can. So that's all I have for comments. We're going to move on to meeting schedules and start with Commissioner Glazer.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock here at the County Services Building, I have Parks and Recreation. Okay, so everybody hear me?
Can now, Steve.
Okay, so Parks and Recreation for tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock here at the County Services Building. And on Monday, the 7th at 2 o'clock. Here, it's scheduled for another exciting Human Services Committee meeting.
Thank you.
That's it.
Anybody hear that beeping feedback? Well, it's gone now. So Commissioner
That was
Twilliger.
Steve on a second mic.
Oh. Commissioner Twilliger. You're on mute, Gay.
I didn't want to unmute, sorry. I just have 2 meetings scheduled. I have December 3rd, Drug Court, and December 10th, Pinecrest. I'm not sure what's going on with our, within District 4 with our townships. Currently, I think they probably are just gonna pass things out in the parking lot and probably pay bills out there and approve them in 5-minute meeting. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Geisler?
Yes, 1 week from today, December 8th, Tuesday, at 9 o'clock, the executive committee will meet in the board room or.
Thank you. Is that it, Commissioner Geisler? You have anything else?
Yes, the A&O committee is in the afternoon at 2:30 on December 8th. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Geisler. Commissioner Dorian?
Mark, can I just
Yes.
make a quick comment? Those meetings will be virtual.
Yes, the meetings are virtual, correct. Yep, thank you. We just left Commissioner Dorian.
The Human Services Committee is scheduled to meet on Monday, December 7th at 2 o'clock via Zoom for a straight up business meeting. No pizzazz. That's all I have.
Commissioner Nosen.
I got all sorts of pizzazz. Actually, on Thursday, the 3rd, I think we have the command officers negotiations at 3 p.m. Suzanne, if that's different, let me know. On Friday, the big board of MAC is meeting at 10 a.m. That's also virtual. On the 8th, we do have the finance committee meeting, again, virtual, 1:30 p.m. On the 9th, the community health improvement plan members are meeting at 8:15 and the Health and Human Services meeting at, I believe it's 9:15. And then at 3 p.m. that afternoon, the Economic Development of the County Midland is meeting at 3 p.m. On the 11th, I've got MAC Environmental Committee meeting at 10 a.m. And finally, on the 14th, I've got the National Association of Counties Finance Committee meeting also at 3 p.m. All of this is virtual. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And Commissioner Snyder, could you go, please?
Hi. After this meeting, I have Four Lakes Task Force Board Communications call. And then I decided to take a tour of our facility where we keep the, I believe it's the dive equipment and some of our lake equipment. I've never been over there. And so I asked to take a tour of that with the Sheriff's Department. Parks and Rec was already mentioned for the 2nd. And the 4th, I have Four Lakes Task Force Gladwin County workshop. It's a bring together and talk type of workshop. And finance was mentioned. I have City of Coleman and Edenville on the 8th. I'm going to choose one of those. I already went to Geneva last month. Again, on the 9th, I have a Four Lakes Task Force County discussion. We're having these kind of regularly as new things unfold. The 9th, also, I have a Jerome Township meeting. The 10th, I have the Road Commission meeting. And the 14th, the Village of Sanford. Thanks.
Thank you. And I believe that brings me to me. So I have a few meetings I guess we'll call them as we transition on how to run the building safe and have some employees working from home and some not. I have today at 1:30 a COVID meeting with at 1:30 is via Zoom. And I also have another one, boy, I had it right here, at 1:30 on Thursday, the same type of meeting. And then also the 9th, and Scott, you already mentioned that at 3 o'clock, have economic development also. So those are my 3 meetings I have before our next announcement. So that's all I have, and that's all the business I have.
Chairman, I have one addendum, I believe, and I need to confirm with Suzanne. The bargaining team for the Road Patrol Deputies Association has been moved to 4 o'clock on Wednesday. Is that correct?
That meeting is really a management meeting, but yes, it has been moved to 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's all I have.
That's
Move
all
to
the
adjourn.
business we have today, so you guys know what comes next.
Move to adjourn.
Do we have support? All
Support.
those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the same. Okay, this meeting is adjourned until Tuesday, December 8th, 2020 at 9 a.m. to meet in an executive session of the Board of Commissioners and for the committees to resume their duties. Thank you, everybody, for meeting and being here today. Everybody have a great day and great holidays. Thank you. Bye-bye.